Hey everybody, it's Emerald Stars, and welcome back to another episode of Vintage Story on the Aura Fury server. Let's have some fun. I managed to get 43 charcoal from that lovely little 3x3 space, and that's enough to get me started. And eventually I will probably do a much larger charcoal pit, but to get started, 43 is going to be a great number. And one thing that I am super excited about is today is December 21st, meaning it's the solstice. And from here on out, it's going to start getting warmer, which is awesome. And right now, it's actually not too freezing. It'll get colder as the sun goes farther down. But these are still good until -5. So I've still got some turnips and some flax growing. Pretty much those are my only crops right now. And so I think now, next on the agenda, I'm going to have to make the molds for the different tools that I want. So I'm going to go on ahead and get that done, since voxels can be a little tedious to sit and watch, and I will be back. I managed to get a bunch of molds made up before running out of clay, and I even got an anvil mold, so that'll be nice. Hopefully I will have enough here to make an anvil. And this 20 units is smelting up, or 20 ingots. Yeah, the 20 ingots are smelting up to make 100 units of copper, so I will be able to make my hammer and therefore refine what's in here and rinse and repeat. So I'm gonna wait for this to smelt up and pour it in the mold and let it cool, and I'll be back. There we go, it's finally cooled to working temperature, and there's our hammer. So now I can process up this copper, and we can just make all the copper things. Hopefully I'll have enough to make the anvil. That's my main goal. Yeah, it looks like we'll be good. Okay, so I'm gonna get this copper all melty. Let's see, I don't need quite that many since I don't have that many tools that I want. I just need the 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, okay. So oops, go back. 1,300 units of copper. Perfect. And then put our coal in here, and of course it's cold. Actually, let's heat with the peat to get it to a good temperature, and then put the coal in so that we save it a little. Let that heat up to, how hot does peat get? I don't know offhand. 900? Alright, so when that reaches 900, we can put in our, or I guess whenever that goes, whatever. We'll just preheat a little bit with the peat and then stick our coal in there. So this is going to heat up, and then I will be putting it in the molds that I have prepared. Actually, it looks like I need to go eat some food. So these meals, I made these meals, and they say they're only good for like 8 days. But I feel like I've made meals before and they were good for like 29 days or something like that, but way more than 8. So am I doing something wrong putting them in these versus having them in these clay pots? Let me know, because I definitely don't want all of my food going bad in 8 days. And I know putting wax around it is supposed to help it not go bad as fast, but I obviously don't have any bees yet, or wax, so I can't really put wax around them just yet, so that's not really an option. Am I just doomed to having all of my food rot, or, I mean, is this space too big? I built it the 6x6, and I still haven't really gotten any confirmation on whether that's too big. Is it because I don't have a trapdoor up here, which hopefully once I get all of this copper smelted up, I will be able to make some ingot molds and get a saw going so I can actually have wood planks and therefore a trapdoor, so then I can put a trapdoor on here if that's the problem. But if that's not the problem, let me know what is. I decided while I waited I would run down and grab some more of this blue clay that I have marked down here, since I am going to need more for ingot molds and whatnot. It's just a good thing to have and a resource that I don't have much of right now, so I'm going to mine up some of this and then head back to camp. Now that I'm back in camp, I have my molten copper here that I can pour into this mold here. Okay, for a second I was a little worried because I couldn't see it filling up, but here we are. There's all of our copper in the anvil. And then, I'm not sure, I know I want a prospecting pick. And then, I have 200 or 300, okay. So we'll just go here, here, and here. I might as well just set this down. And I'm going to go on ahead and let that cool and make up some more clay molds for ingots and whatnot, and then I'll be back. And there we go. All the molds and the anvil and these tools all made up. Now I am going to probably make up the rest of this and put it into ingots, and I'll be back. Okay, so that'll get us 900 units of copper, so 9 ingots, which isn't bad. Let's get some coal in here so it'll start cooking up. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8 ingots, and then I'll probably make a long blade, or no, actually probably another hammer. And then I will be able to get working on making things on the anvil. I suppose I have to make a forge first, though. I'm pretty sure it's cobblestone, but I'm gonna check the recipe. Yep, cobblestone. Let's see, where do I keep that? I really need to remember my system here. My janky little system that I don't have a good one of yet. There we go. Now we have a forge. Put that there. Same container. Grab a couple of blocks of dirt so that I will have, so that my forge won't just keep getting extinguished. Yeah, I actually said it right that time. I guess that's not in this playthrough. In my single player world, I kept saying distinguished instead of extinguished. For whatever reason, I could not get the two sorted out. So, check these crops over here. We got ourselves a little captive bunny rabbit. So just the one, or is that 2? 1. It's not a ton of meat that one rabbit gives, though. Did I not plant that, or did that disappear? It's not below 5. Will your crops disappear if it goes below 5, or will they just not grow? Because this is my first Vintage Story winter, and I'm not sure. Are they going to disappear? Was it a bad idea to plant those? Or are they just going to sit there and not grow, which is preferable for sure. Let's see. I guess I'll make tools out of these. Got a beautiful set of copper tools now. And might as well make some tool racks for them to go on, since I don't want them clogging up my inventory spaces. And here, and here. I suppose I only really needed the one for the amount of tools I have right now. I guess this will go on here, so I do need the 2. How's this going? About halfway, it looks like. Okay. I will be back when that's done. Nice, the copper's all melted up. So let's get it put into our molds over here. 1 hammer so that we will be able to do all the smithing. And then our 8 ingots. Oh crap. I was holding the right mouse button and that was a bad idea. Now I have a half-formed blade. I might as well just put the rest in there instead of making up that last ingot. So I don't end up with, well, a half-formed blade and a half-formed ingot. It's a little disappointing because I have this lovely iron sword at the moment from Ray. So I guess now I'll have a copper one. But this iron one will be gone eventually, and it'll be nice to have a backup, I suppose. Although copper is probably not the one I would have chosen, since I will soon hopefully have some tin and all the other ores available to me. Oh well. I'm gonna let that cool down, and then I can start smithing. There we go. Everything's nice and cooled down. I'm gonna put, let's see, I want a saw, a chisel. Hang on, is a chisel something that you smith? I've never made a chisel before because the multi-block chiseling wasn't a thing in the versions that I played before, because I previously hadn't played for a while until the new updates. I believe it is something that's smith. So chisel, saw, and then I want a pair of shears because I've been watching Nathan's videos, and he uses the shears on leaves to get saplings and stuff like that, and it's a lot faster than punching them one at a time, and so it seems a little more doable. Since now that I have a saw, I'm going to want to start building my actual house. I have decided I probably won't be doing this circular thing here. I might even relocate to an area kind of more that direction, but I have a definite plan as to what I would like to do that I'm pretty excited about. So I am going to need lots and lots of wood for building, and I don't want to completely raze the whole forest without, you know, replacing some of it. So I'm gonna go on ahead and make some shears as well as a scythe and everything. Let's rotate that. Oh, sorry. And pick, oops, I keep doing that. And I will just be here hammering away for a little bit, and I will catch you guys in a minute. Alright, so I ended up making a scythe instead of a second pair of shears because my poor sheep are just starving to death. And they certainly would appreciate a little bit of hay. So I will have to cut some grass for them because at the moment I do not have any grain to spare for them. So they will be getting some grass as soon as I can get some wood here to make a trough. Nice. There's their trough. And I'm gonna go put that in there with them. I might also actually, here, let me grab my shovel. There we go. Expand their little hole in the ground, at least a little bit, because I feel bad for them in their tiny little space. Let's do the bottom block first so they don't get any ideas and try and climb out. Trough. I'm sure these things have to, their pen has to be a certain size for them to start breeding, but I don't currently have a pen set up for them yet, so other than these with the Other than this right here, I don't have a fence set up for them, so that's gonna have to do it for now for them. Gather up some grass for them and fatten them up, because right now they're low body weight and they're not gonna make babies if they're not fat and happy. So gather this all up. Is that drifter gonna come back? I hope not. To be honest, I've really only seen like 2 or 3 drifters since I moved here. And I play a lot at night because it's winter and it's always night, it seems like. Okay. Hopefully that'll fatten them up. Poor guys are still low weight. I'm gonna harvest a little bit more grass just to have some on hand. It will be nice when I get the barrels or crates, I think they're crates, set up, and it'll be kind of like a grass silo type thing, and I'll be able to have just tons and tons of grass right next to them so that I won't have to run around and gather it up from somewhere else. I wonder if I dare go in there if they're still pissed at me for punching them earlier. So he's pretty much always angry because he's a ram, but oh well. Got what I wanted to. Let's come over here. And I've got some dirt. Pirates of the Caribbean, I got a job done. Alright, I think now I am going to go and just harvest a bunch of trees. Get some saplings, get some wood planks so that I can start making my house. Actually, after I need to grab some noms here. It's nice to not be perpetually starving to death anymore, even though I'm eating pretty much just mashed turnips. I guess that's gonna have to do though, even though I don't have a very diverse profile here, food profile. Oh, it's getting a -5. My poor crops. I'm thinking they're gonna be doing okay. Just they're not gonna break. They're just not gonna grow. I think that's how it's gonna be. I hope that's the case, because I don't want to not have crops. Okay, that does break a decent amount. I think I remember seeing in Nathan's playthrough as well that he had ladders to climb up the trees, which makes sense. So, there we go. I love how ladders work in this game. They're just so easy and straightforward and not, I don't know, not like Minecraft ones. I don't know, is that kosher to compare the two games? They are very similar, but I understand that they're very different too. But I don't know. Is it wrong to compare them? It even works with the bushes on the ground. That's nice, because I've got some ground clearing to do. There's this bush here. And I've managed to get some saplings out of that too. Which is fantastic, because now I can start growing my own trees. Granted, I have planted trees over here. They're just not growing because it's winter. And nothing grows in winter, because winter is soulless and evil and awful. But that might just be projecting like my actual feelings about winter, because winter's coming up and it's already hard enough to see people because you have to be outside, and now we're not going to be able to see people. So maybe that's just me projecting my own bitterness about winter to the game. Actually, I think there was a drifter over here that I hadn't harvested. Do they disappear if you don't harvest them? Or do they just stay there forever? Like a creepy, still corpse. whatchamacallit. Well, I don't see them, so I guess they do just disappear after a while. Might as well grab this birch tree while I'm over here, though. Oh, these shears are fantastic. Nathan, that was such a good thing to put in your playthrough. I hadn't seen that before. Wow. Not a shovel. You will not chop down a tree with a shovel. And it is so nice to finally have copper tools instead of using flint ones and having to replace them every other tree. Because that gets old fast. Gotta go back over here and chop down that tree that has my ladder stuck to it. I'm assuming the ladder will just pop off the side. And I won't have to separately mine them. Yep, there goes my ladder. Cool. Alright, well, I'm gonna do a bunch of this tree chopping down, and after my last episode where a lot of it was just me talking while I was chopping down trees, you probably don't want to watch me do it this time. So I will catch you guys when I have a decent store of wood. While I was away from the server, it looks like another ram here found his way into this hole. I will actually probably be killing him and harvesting the meat from him because I don't need 2 rams. If it had been another ewe, how is it pronounced? Ewe or ewe? I still don't know. If it had been another female, I would have left her. Then I would have had a breeding trio, but I do not have any use for 2 rams. So that one will probably become lunch, and none too soon because I'm once again a little low. And also, this little lady, this piggy here, she made it into my bunny trap. So I'm pretty excited that she's there, and maybe in the near future we'll have a boar find his way in there as well so that I can have sheep and pigs. I would be very happy with that. So now I have some turnips, so I am actually probably going to go kill this sheep over here so that I can have some mutton. Is it mutton from sheep? Okay. Is he too far away? I hope not, because I really don't want to go in there with the other ram. Because I don't think he'll be too pleased with me. Is that close enough? Oh no, that's too close. Ah! Ha! Okay. Bye, sheepies. I need to eat something quick. Probably some grain, just to give me time until my meat stew with potatoes cooks up, or turnips cooks up. Alright. Some grain. Okay, that'll at least keep me from starving to death. Oh, I left my crocks, or my stew pots down there. So let's see how many servings of this we can get. So 6 servings of stew with turnip. Can I put this in here as well? Nope. Can I put it instead? Nope. Alright. So, just the turnips and that, and it looks like now I can probably get 1 more serving out of it. But that is definitely better than what I had before. Come on, light it. Oh, right, there's nothing on there to light. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna let that cook up, and while it does, I'll show you kind of my wood haul here. So I ended up with quite a bit of this maple here, and so that's probably what I'm going to end up building with, just because that's what's in this area very prevalently. And I think when you build with the wood and the bricks and stuff like that that are native to the area that you're from, it makes it fit in more, I feel like. It makes it feel like it's part of the environment instead of something that just doesn't belong. So I need to 100% figure out where exactly I want to build. Let's get some of these out. And the saw here. Make some planks from our maple. So what does a maple door look like? Are they all different, or is there only one door? Only one door. Alright. Let's see, how's this doing? Halfway through? Okay, so I'm trying to decide if I want to live over here or live over here. This is definitely flatter. I mean, there is this little bit of whatever going on here, but that's not too hard to work around, whereas over here we've got this giant hole in the ground that the drifters like to pop their heads out of every so often, which is super fun. And I don't want to cover up this peat mound, so I think I will be building over in this area. And I have a better idea of what it is that I want, and to do it, I'm going to need a little more of this granite, because I'm going to be building with some granite, some andesite, and the maple. And we'll see how that turns out. Let's do some inventory hygiene real quick. If I have anywhere to put anything, put it in here. Animal byproducts. And the rest of my turnips and meat can go back in here. So I think this trapdoor makes all the difference, because these used to be like perishing in like 10 or so days, but now that I have the trapdoor on there, it's up to 102. So I think that's what's done it. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's how it is. And let's have some yummy hearty stew. I thought that would have done more. It's a little anticlimactic. Oh well. Okay. That doesn't tell me when it expires yet, because it's still hot. Alright, I'm gonna go grab or mine out some of the cobblestone runes kind of over here, and I will be back. Now that it's daylight, we can see this area a little bit better, and this is the general layout of how I want the house. I'm gonna bring this part here back over just a tiny bit, but overall I'm pretty pleased with this shape that I've created. And I do need to kind of put a little more dirt in here, kind of fill this area in just a little bit, because this is where I will be entering the building, is from right here, and I don't want to have to be avoiding going around like this and jumping. It's just awkward and weird. So I'll be putting some dirt in here, and then I'm gonna start working on getting this more complete. Since I've had enough run-ins with wolves lately, I've come down into my cellar to try and work on getting all of this chiseled out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 3 blocks that I want to chisel and turn them each into chisel blocks by right-clicking on them with my chisel. And then I'm going to pick them all back up and in my inventory crafting grid. Wait. I don't think the chalk. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. So I'm going to get my chiseled chalk and put that in first because I want that to be the main block that presents itself. So when I combine the two, it's a chiseled block, but the chalk is what we see. And I'm going to repeat that again with the wood since I want those three textures in there. And from what I've heard, you can combine four. You can combine 4 different materials into one. So I'm going to go in with my chisel, and for the facade that I'm doing, I chisel off the first 4 blocks, just like this. And I accidentally made a dent there, so I'll just right click and bring it back. Left click removes blocks, right click places them. Alright, now that I have all of those removed, I want to go in and place some of this granite. And then I had kind of a little medium or 1 wide or 1 by 1 block here just to give it kind of more of a curved texture. And there we have the granite cobblestone coming up on the chalk. And now it's time to add the wood in, so hit F and select oak planks. Okay. Since this is the block I'm trying to mimic, here I'm going to rotate that. That's the block I'm trying to mimic, so I need it to look just like this one. And as of right now, the two, they connect up and make this wide enough, but since this one is going to be the first one on the block, it needs to be 4 wide instead of just 2 like this one is. So 2 by 2 and wood, just like that. And for the plank that goes across, it's only has a depth of 1. So I'm going to grab the 1 by 1 and go across, and it is 3 high. Okay, so now these two are the same, and the next block that I'm going to make is not going to have this on this side, and this one's going to be a little smaller. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my chiseled block, and I want to duplicate it since a lot of what's in there I want to keep, and I don't want to have to go in and redo all that I've done. So I'm going to put in a piece of chalk, the oak wood planks, and the granite cobblestone. And it's going to copy this chiseled block. So I'm going to go over here with my empty hand and right click on it and see the progress bar going. And I now have 2 of this same block. And I broke my chisel because it does take the durability from your chisel, otherwise it wouldn't function properly. So I'm going to put these 2 next to each other, and what I want to happen here, so now this piece right here is too many wide. I want it to only be 4 voxels wide, and right now it's 6. What on earth was that sound? I don't... Oh, it's a drifter. Okay. I'm just a little jumpy because I've recently been killed by a wolf. And so I'm going to go through and break these blocks out and get my 1 by 1 block and kind of flatten that out to be the smaller plank and put some more back in if I can get it in the right spot. There we go. And then I want to go through and get rid of these voxels as well, since the block that I want to be here is going to be a continuous texture. From here to here, I want it to be nice and flat. And so I'm going ahead and take this one and duplicate it, since what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror it, and that's something that you can do with your chisel. So put my block in, put in my chisel, add in the chalk, oak, granite, and then right click. Take some durability from my chisel and give me a duplicate. So I'm going to put this block back down here and put this one in here. And what I want this block right here to do is be mirrored. So I'm going to flip it like this. And now I have this here, a nice open space, because this is where my window is going to go when I put it back over there. So it has this nice open space. And then for the third one, they're all kind of scooched too far over here. So actually what I'm going to do is the same with this one, how I cloned it and then flipped it. I'm going to do the same with this one here. And put that in there with my chisel, chalk, oak, and granite. And put this one down. And I want this one to be flipped. So there we have it. That is that front panel that I have underneath the window all done up. I'm not going to be doing the entire chiseling process with you guys. I just wanted to kind of show you what I do and how that works, just so that you can have an idea if you wanted to recreate this kind of look instead of going in and making plaster. I've never attempted to make plaster, but I've heard from others on the server that it's a pretty lengthy and torturous process. And with this anyway, I can get exactly the look I want. It's completely customizable, and I think it's super neat to be able to chisel. So I'm going to continue with these. And okay, there it is, placed where it belongs. I am going to have to come in and kind of round the corner, do some more chiseling, and shave this off and make it be a corner like how this one is, so that it's not awkward and sticking out like that. But I am completely and totally in love with this look. The chalk was definitely the way to go. I love it so much over this sandstone. It is the look that I was wanting to go for, and I am super excited for this build and where it's going to go. And I'm going to get some work done on it, and I will see you guys in the next episode.